Call this evening's meeting to order. This is the regular city council meeting for Tuesday, November 21st, 2023. Could I have a roll call, please?
Councilman Blair.
Here.
Councilwoman Davy.
Here.
Mayor Gillis.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Martin.
Here. I'd like to make a motion to excuse our 3 council members. We have 1 that is ill, we have 2 that are vacationing. Support. Thank you.
All in favor of the excusing of Councilman Bembas, Councilman Carter, and Councilwoman Harris, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? They are excused. Next, we have a moment of silent prayer. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I need a motion to approve this evening's agenda with the removal of item 11G,
So moved.
because it takes 5 members, per the charter, it takes 5 members of council to approve any real estate transactions.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We have an agenda. Presentations. We have 1 presentation this evening. It's by Councilwoman Dawn Davy, and she will be doing an Adopt a Street. Councilwoman Davy?
No, I thought about that, but I'm
You know, I
gonna do that.
figured you probably would. Ladies. Oh, yeah. Get up here. Okay. Tonight, we are going to, it's been a day, guys, for the Adopt a Street. And at the suggestion of a resident, the city recently started Adopt a Street and Adopt a Park programs. These new programs create an activity that family members of all ages can participate in together, teach kids about public service and being involved locally, and encourage pride in the community. Both programs are modeled after the MDOT Adopt a Highway program, where volunteers are asked to pick up litter at least 2 times per year between April and October. Interested volunteers, service groups, neighbors, or families should submit an application to the city, which are available at the city's website. Christina Halkis Robb submitted an application to adopt Fruit Street from State Street to Cemetery Road in honor of her family who have lived in Algonac all of their lives, specifically on Fruit Street for nearly 70 years, and also operated the family business there for many of those years. The city is grateful for the interest and support of the Halkias family, whose efforts have made Algonac a better place to work, live, and play. I don't have anything else that I have to read from.
Okay, wait, I have to bring up our younger sister's
wait.
picture
Oh, yeah.
here.
She's
Oh,
gotta be here.
We have a younger sister in
I
there.
know, I'm like, there's 3, where's the other one?
She's right here.
There you go.
You can FaceTime her.
Come on, guys.
Wait, picture you guys.
Get over here. She just told you, didn't she?
Women tell me this stuff all the time.
Can you
let
see
my
her,
job,
can you
really.
see her in
Wow,
the
she
picture?
can check.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, cheese everyone.
Jeez.
Got it, thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
I have to say, she's making me say it, I can't talk, but I wanna thank everybody, we've been here, like she said, for 70 years, and I've taught here for 36 years in the district also. And I've had student back there, many students here, and, it's an honor to be able to do this and keep our community going as we grew up knowing our community. So thank everybody for
Thank you.
allowing us to do
It's
this.
awesome that you guys are doing that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, we have public comment. This is the only time
Thank you.
tonight to speak before the council. You'll have 5 minutes to speak. The council will not respond, but we will follow up accordingly.
Is this open for anybody?
Yep,
Yes?
Got it. I have comments.
Yep.
Okay, I'm Stacy Rappa. I live on Middle Street. And I've said this, maybe a year ago, and there was different people over here, but it was about the skate park. I mean, my son passed away, and I was told that they did give money for the boards, what have you. I think maybe a month ago, me and Parker were skating at night, and it was like the rail, I don't know the parts to the skate park that they're called, but the rail was off. And the cop came by with the spotlight, and I said to him, well, we're just leaving now because obviously it's dark and I can't see. But I did notice that the ramp was off. And then he said, well, Cindy will take care of it, yada, yada, yada. But when I went up there the following day, there was like the wood, the frame, there's like, it's deteriorating, if that makes sense. It's like, well, my son is not here no more, cause that was his favorite spot. But it's like, and I know kids go taking their bikes up there and doing ramps, but it's like, is it safe for little kids? The wood is like deteriorating. I took pictures of it, and I don't have them on me, but it's like, I don't know, there's graffiti. I don't know if it's graffiti or if it's the way they painted it, I'm not sure. I don't approve myself of the bikes going on the ramps, cause it's for skating, rollerblading, And that's on that subject. I want to say because, like I said, my son, that was his hangout, when he, it's Luke's hangout, And there's probably more, but I wanted to bring that up, especially because I take my son, my grandson, on a scooter, and it's dark there, there's no light. I mean, you got Smithfield is cool for baseball, yada yada, but it's like, there's no light there at night, for people that skate, and I work, and when I get out of work, I would take him there to skate, and it's dark, and it's like 5 o'clock, it's dark, there's no light there, and I don't know what's going on in town because things change. But I've lived here since I was 15 years old, and now I'm gonna be 59, so, the math, I don't know, but that's all I wanted to say. I have more, but I can't think of it right now without getting upset, and I don't wanna curse, 'cause that's not my, everybody does, but the skate park is what I wanted to mention. Now I'm done. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you.
you.
Is there anybody?
Hi, Furnace Shank, 185 Kevin Road. Also owner operator of the Russell Island Ferry Service here in town. I live next door to a home that has been in blight on Kenyon Road for at least a year since these people had purchased the house. All I have to say is that they come in a couple times over the summer, cut the grass, leave, and that's about it.
Bernie, I'm sorry, you have an address?
I do. 185,
No.
171 Kenyon, I believe. I believe it's gonna be brought up here at this meeting, so I was told from Lori Warner. I used to work for City Grosse Pointe Woods DPW back in the day when I was younger, and when homes in Grosse Pointe Woods went under blight situations, they would send the DPW in to cut the grass, trim down the bushes, so on and so forth, and then I don't know how they handle that, add it to their taxes or something like that. But I don't know why the city wouldn't be able to come in and address the issue with this blighted home with the DPW to send them in. I understand these people live in Ohio, and it's a secondary residence. But I moved out of Detroit to come to this town to get away from that kind of situation. Blighted homes not being taken care of, and now I've gotta live right next door to it. And I've got a tree that's dead in their yard that's right next door to my garage, which I'm afraid of it falling in. On top of my garage, which I have a classic car in there, and I don't need any more damage because I've already put in an insurance claim on my garage over the summer for a storage loft collapse. I just got my car back, so I know winter's coming. I don't need this tree falling down on top of my garage. That's about what I guess. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Steve Honke, live at 940 Lee Street. Lived here all my life, pretty much since 1977, moved from Detroit, and have a lot invested in the neighborhood, and from being a paper boy, graduating from school here in '86. My parents owned 940 Lee Street, and I purchased from my parents, would be about 9 years now. After my dad passed, my mom still lives in town, moved away. So, long story short, since about that time, just before moving in, right behind the residence is 1947 St. Clair Boulevard. And there was issues where the house had like trees growing up right into their soffits. So I didn't live there yet, but my parents did, so I'd go by and I'd see this, and I asked the woman who owned the residence if she needed help or something, because that's not good. It's like, it's bending all the plastic up, and she said, well, I can't get it, my daughter's could, she doesn't have a son, she's not married or something, so I got a saw and, took it down, cleaned everything up, and that was years ago. And then we move in, and since then, those trees have grown. You've seen the pictures, they're back into the soffits. The end of their house has a big hole in the gable end where bats go in and out, so the house is really bad. It just gets worse and worse and worse, and that's just one point of it. I mean, like, I talked with another neighbor who would be on the north side. His name is Joe. Joe tells me that this house of residence, where we're speaking of 1947, he's been talking to them because their outside spigot has been running for 2 years. So he showed me about 2 weeks ago, I go around their garage and I look at it, and it's just flowing. And the backyard is all like flooded, and it's like green and brown all over the back of the house. And I'm like, wouldn't they notice, like, you know, something with their water bill if it's this run? He goes, I tell them that that's fixable, and they don't do anything. They don't say anything to anybody, nothing. And I'd say it's just like the outside, the freeze thing is broken, you know, or whatever. I was like, gosh, you know, and I already know stuff's going on with Lori, so I'm not talking to the people or anything like that, so. In the meantime, they have a nephew, or it would be one of their daughters, marries this guy, we'll just call him like Special K, because of his name. And this guy is off the wall crazy. He'll be like, I don't know how to explain, seen him when he was younger, and then he married into the family. This would be about 8 years ago, and he'll like get kicked out of their house. He has to live in their driveway, so he'll be like in a diesel truck running it all night long, and the guy doesn't have a place to go to the bathroom, so he goes behind the garage, which is right beyond our privacy fence. They got to put up a privacy fence about 7 years ago, because my wife will be like, the guy's peeing behind the fence again. So I go back there, and obviously the guy's gone. So I looked around, and lo and behold, there's like piles of poop and toilet paper and stuff. Like, he has his go outside. So that's a whole nother realm of things. But I've had things where I'm cutting the grass and I walk around the yard. We have a really big yard, it's like 3 lots. Getting kind of flustered here, but the guy like works on his car out in the driveway, and he like has fits. And he's done it where he'll have a pickup truck or something that has trouble, And believe it or not, he'll like take a sledgehammer and beat the living hell out of it and start screaming at it. And we don't know what's going on. It's cause it's only like 20, 30 feet behind our house. We don't know what's going on. And the guy's just going ballistic. And then they'll come out, his family, and say what's going on, and he's having a bad day. He couldn't get the part off or something, so he totally destroys the car. So that was one time. Another time, like I go outside, he's working on a pickup truck, he jacks it up, and he's gonna work on like the trans or something, and he uses a air conditioner from like a window of a house for a jack stand. And it's a big old truck, and I'm like, hey, you know, like, I don't like talking thing, I'm like, you know, that's not cool, you know, you're gonna get hurt. Doesn't care, he just goes on, and so I see stuff like that, and it just compiles of, you know, like lunacy. And then I seen it where like I'm cutting the grass, and I saw he was working on brakes, and behind our house, the siding is broken, and I didn't notice that the brake pads that I had just taken, cause I'm cutting the grass, there's brake pads in the grass. I threw them over the fence, cause I know he's working on his car. Then I saw that the siding's broken on my house. So then I already took the brake pads, threw them over the fence, I'm like, hey, Special K, you know, but I'm like, you threw these pads over here? Look at my house, I have siding broken. He's like, oh, I didn't do nothing, and if it was my friends. It's not me. So I ended up fixing that, and then just like recently, which gets me here is, he actually,
I'm sorry, Gillis, point of order.
this will be the last point, he backs a trailer up and hit our fence with a trailer, so I called the sheriff.
Alright, thank you, Mr. Monkey.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Kelly Panett. I'm new to the area, just purchased in August. I live at 1945 St. Clair Boulevard. Come to address the 1947 address of St. Clair Boulevard. He's my neighbor behind me. I purchased, and probably about a week or so after I purchased, I didn't move in right away. Whole mound of garbage is between the house and their garage and the backyard. It hasn't been touched, but added to, including a refrigerator at one point, but I think that may have been shoved behind the garage more. It's been awful. Just the rodents. My concern is there's little ones in that house. There's 3 little kids in that house living in these conditions. And like he said, that's going into the house. The gable ends are all ripped off. Rodents, I've seen raccoons, large raccoons, and I personally invested $3,000 in a privacy fence when I purchased the home after, because I couldn't look at that. And I get that view from my bedroom window, my grandson's bedroom window, but just looking out and seeing the stretch. I have a beautiful home. I'm proud to be in Algonac. I know some great people here, but I was shocked. And the Special K, as he calls them, revs his truck all night long, leaves it running till 1 o'clock in the morning, for instance, just before Halloween, to the point I had to go outside and turn on my porch light, because his truck's 10 feet from my bedroom window. And you know, he curses at my 6-month-old boxer puppy when he barks at him, when he's throwing stuff around the backyard, when he has one of his temper tantrums. He's not a resident in the home, he's a guest. So that's the whole kicker of it. And he zooms up and down the streets, he doesn't stop for the stop signs, and he does exceed 45 to 50 miles an hour in front of my home. And St. Clair Boulevard stops right there, you know? So, and I've seen him almost hit the UPS drivers and pedestrian walking their dog, just because he couldn't get around the corner fast enough. So he's a nuisance to the neighborhood. So, and I think the police know who he is. So, but that's, hopefully we can get it fixed. I wanna enjoy my home in my neighborhood in peace, and I don't wanna have to build bigger fences.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else that'd like to speak before the council tonight? Hearing none, seeing none, moving on, city manager's report, Mrs. Gerstenberg.
Thank you, Mayor Gillis. Just a reminder that leaf vacuuming started, and the last pickup will be November 22nd. The last yard waste collection by Ontario will be November 30th. You may have read that Marine City recently received a grant and loan from the Drinking Water State Revolving Fund. One of the scoring criteria to receive money from this program is whether or not the community has received an administrative consent order or a consent judgment compliance enforcement from Eagle. This is a document outlining their issues of non-compliance that the community must address. Marine City was issued such an order back in 2023. That is a main reason why they were eligible for this grant program. The city of Algonac is under no such order. There's been a lot of Facebook chatter going on about Rite Aid and Rite Aid closing over here in Algonac. Just to clear up any misconceptions, Rite Aid filed for bankruptcy. They have filed under Chapter 11 for bankruptcy protection. They've been losing money for years and the losses have been getting worse. They are also involved in some very expensive litigation. Apparently, they have been accused of filling hundreds of thousands of illegal prescriptions for a multitude of drugs, including opiates. So that is why Rite Aid is closing. There is absolutely nothing that Algonac could have done to prevent Rite Aid from filing bankruptcy or closing the Algonac location. So this was a business decision at their corporate office that the city has absolutely no control over.
Thanks for clarification on that too. I've seen the rhetoric as well, so thanks for addressing that.
You're welcome. And lastly, many of you know George Yakum, who he passed away on November 10th after a very short illness. Mr. Yakum was a graduate of Michigan State University and the Detroit College of Law, and he was a partner here at the Algonac-based King, Clemens, Yoakum, and Downey law firm for his entire career. He served as the Algonac City Attorney for 46 years. So I just wanted to let everyone know that Mr. Yakum had passed away.
Thank you.
That's all.
Any questions for Mrs. Gerstenberg?
I'm sorry I interrupted, but I already said mine.
Mary Gillis, just, a couple things. I will say, I read today, somewhere else that to let people know again about Rite Aid, I know that the one at 23 and Jefferson is also closing, so this is not an Algonac thing, this is Rite Aid that we have absolutely no control over. Ms. Gerstenberg, I wanted to ask and clear up, just so people understand, this is with their drinking water in Marine City, that's not, right? That's not a clean water infrastructure kind of issue with them, that's their drinking water.
They are under an order from Eagle to make some major improvements to their water treatment plant.
Okay.
And so it also includes, improving some of their, water lines throughout the community and a number of other things, but the main thing is that they are being directed by the state that they have to make
Right.
these changes because they have not made those changes in a timely manner in the past.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Thank you, Mrs. Gerstenberg. Next up, we have our consent agenda. Our consent agenda consists of the regular city council minute meetings from November 7th, 2023, departmental reports, which is light enforcement, building, DPW, finance, fire department, water department, communications and notices. We have boards and commissions roster, housing commission minutes. And under miscellaneous business, we have to approve the water plant emergency air compressor repair for $1,265.55. Can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion
Approve the consent agenda.
approve these consent agenda.
Support.
Comments, questions, or concerns? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carried. Next up, we have item 11A, to introduce amendments to Chapter 18 Environment by adding Article 7, vacant buildings. The City Council has to review an ordinance drafted by the city attorney to require owners of vacant property to register and pay a fee to the city. This ordinance is designed to encourage property owners to not embrace the status quo and consider immediate implementations of a plan to revitalize the property. Detroit, Marine City, Melvindale, Mount Clemens, and Southfield are examples of communities that have this ordinance in place. I believe Mrs. Gerstenberg has a presentation on this.
Yes, thank you, Mary Gillis. So-
Excuse me, if I could, point of order. Mayor Gillis, if I could ask a question, or city manager. During the consent agenda, there was the emergency air compressor repair for 126555? Since it's a fiduciary, do we have to get a roll call vote on that?
You don't have to. Thank you.
My apologies, go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor Gillis. So this is called a vacant building ordinance. So this proposed ordinance amends chapter 18, requiring the registration of all abandoned and or vacant structures to encourage property owners to implement plans to revitalize their property. So an abandoned or vacant structure, that means that all lawful activity has ceased for 30 days or more and meets any of the following criteria. The structure provides a location for loitering, vagrancy, unauthorized entry, or other criminal activity, has been boarded for at least 30 days, has unpaid taxes for over 1 year, has utilities disconnected or not in use, and is not maintained. The new ordinance will require registration. Of course, it will require the name and address of the owner, contact information, the length of time the property is expected to be unused, the reason for the non-use, and plans for restoration, reuse, or removal. It also will require a timeline to correct any violations, a floor plan for first responders in case of fire if applicable, and any contact information for a property manager. The structure is also going to be required to be secured at all times. This notice to secure an abandoned and or vacant structure shall be complied with in 72 hours, and if the property owner does not comply, the city will secure the structure and assess the costs to the property owner. There is a snowbird provision. So that basically means that if you are a snowbird who goes to Florida for the winter, that does not mean it's considered a vacant building, so this ordinance does not apply to you. There will be annual registration fees, based upon the duration of the vacancy as determined and established from time to time by resolution of the city council. Failure to pay the fees will result in a lien on the premises. The properties that, if there's been any properties that were devastated by fire or flood, they may be exempt from the fees for 1 year, and any building under construction may be exempt from the registration fees. This ordinance has been suggested to take care of some of the vacant buildings that we have in the community. For example, we have had a person purchase a vacant building in the community and decide that they're going to use it instead of for its commercial purposes, they're going to use it for storage of their toys. That is not an allowable use, especially on the waterfront. We want to see our properties utilized and businesses in them, not used to store jet skis and boats. So this is an ordinance that's going to help us enforce that. And that's a brief overview. If anyone has any questions, thank you.
Mayor Gillis, if I could, thank you for putting the snowbird in there, because, and just so people understand, you know, especially because we've got a couple abatement of nuisance resolutions this evening, to make sure that people understand this isn't just another ordinance to bust people's chops. Is that what this is? It's a completely different thing. These are abandoned buildings, that are not being taken care of. It's completely different.
Do we wanna, just.
Oh, I'm sorry, we're not in discussion.
Yes, I just wanted to, just as a,
Sorry.
do we wanna make a motion on the ordinance?
I'll make a motion to introduce an amendment to chapter 18, environment, by adding article 7, vacant buildings. Support.
Discussion, Mrs. Davy?
Okay.
You're back. And you're back.
See, I need to do one more thing, thank you. It's, like I said, I need people, hopefully people will understand, this is not just a, oh yeah, well, now they're gonna come and get us some more, or they're gonna start driving us nuts. It's not what this is. This is a completely different issue. This is, homes that have been boarded up, businesses, buildings that are boarded up, nobody's there, nobody's taking care of them. Like I said, thank you for putting a snowbird provision in there. I had heard that once or twice. It's not just another thing to bust people's chops, trust me.
You know, personally, I like this because, you know, we often hear is the city needs to do something about these vacant buildings. The city, there's only so much the city can do. We can't force someone to develop it, but we can force them, we can have them have a plan to not keep it empty. So if you don't wanna do something with it, sell it, find somebody. And then we can, you know, we as a community can go out there and try to recruit small businesses to fill these locations. I mean, anybody, if you know somebody that's thinking about a business, we all love Algonac, try to talk them into coming here. Any other discussion?
It's safety and its appearance, and, it can only help us.
Yes. Can I have a roll call, please?
Councilman Blair.
Yes.
Councilwoman Davies.
Yes.
Mayor Gillis.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Martin.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Next up, we have improvement of abatement nuisance 2023-2022 for 1947 St. Clair Boulevard. City attorney has requested that city council declare this property a nuisance per city code section 3418 so that enforcement can be initiated in the St. Clair County Circuit Court. We have pictures starting in 2020, and notices. The city has received numerous complaints from the neighbors. The owners contacted the city by letter on June 6, 2022, and November 3rd, 2022, stating that she was not permanently living at the property, would be back soon to address the violations. The violations are still outstanding and worsened in 2020. The property owner has 21 days to address the outstanding issues before court action will be taken. We do have current photos of the property, and we have a resolution for approval. Can I have a motion, please?
I'd like to make a motion to approve resolution 2023-22 and declare 1947 St. Clair Boulevard a nuisance within the bounds of code section 34-18 and permit the city attorney to pursue abatement remedies in the St. Clair County Circuit Court.
Support.
Comments, questions, concerns?
If I could,
Yes.
Mayor Gillis, I'd like to address the neighbors that came in this evening about this property. Thank you very much for bringing that to our attention. I'm sure that our city manager is well on this. I'm sure this is not the first time you've heard this. I mean, if there's been some issues, we are working in that direction to eradicate them. Sometimes understand that, when the legal procedures happen, it does take a little bit of time. It's not an excuse, it's just facts. But, again, I wasn't that familiar with it, so I appreciate you coming up and at least enlighten myself on what you guys have been dealing with, and I apologize. Thank you.
Mayor Gillis, if I could, and with what Councilman Blair said, we get a few of these, and I think this is the first time that I can remember where there has been neighbors who have had issues with a property that's come before us. Obviously, there's some issues there that need to be taken care of. And like Councilman Blair had said, thank you, we appreciate it.
I definitely wanna concur on that, because as we sit up here and we make these nuisance abatements, sometimes you sit there with your heart, and you sit there and you go back and forth, but it makes it much easier when you're hearing how it affects other people's daily lives. Anyone else?
We're getting somebody's attention to take care of business, or we're gonna move forward, further.
Well, all right, can I have a roll call, please?
Councilwoman Davies.
Yes.
Mayor Gillis.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Martin.
Yes.
Councilman Blair.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Next up, we're being asked to approve abatement of nuisance resolution 2023-23 for 701 Point Trumbull. The city attorney has requested that city council declare this property a nuisance per circuit court section 34-18 so that enforcement can be initiated in the St. Clair County Circuit Court. The property owner lives in Ohio and has never responded to or contacted the city. The property has been non-compliant since November 2022. Attached are pictures of violations since 2022. Copy of notices that have been sent to the property owner, as well as summary timelines provided by the code officer. The city has received numerous complaints about this property, including from residents on Kenyon who have tried to maintain the property. The property owner has 21 days to address the outstanding issues before court action will be taken. We have current photos of the property, and we have a resolution for our approval. The city manager can provide any updates if requested. Can I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2023-23 and declare 701 Point Trumbull a nuisance within the bounds of code section 34-18 and permit the city attorney to pursue abatement remedies in the St. Clair County Circuit Court.
Support.
Comments, questions, or concerns?
Mayor Gillis, again, like I said, very rarely do we have neighbors who come in up about a property like this. Usually, it goes the other way around, so we appreciate it and we're listening. Thank you.
Mayor Gillis?
Yes.
Bernie, is this the home that you're speaking of?
Yes.
Okay. Again, Bernie, thanks for coming in, letting us know that. Again, just because we're on the council here doesn't mean we know everything that's going on in the city. A lot of us have day jobs as well, so you guys coming in and letting us know, because our city manager is awful busy, she can't let us know everything that's going on. So do appreciate it as a councilman that you guys come in and let us know what's going on and let us know how we're doing in regards to reacting on that. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Can I have a roll call, please?
Mayor Gillis.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Martin.
Yes.
Councilman Blair.
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Next up is, item 11D, to approve agreement with DTE Energy for an upgraded transformer at Smith Recreation Park. For many years, there's been electrical power located on a power pole in the public parking lot behind the Dairy Queen. Originally installed many years ago by the Algonac Lions Club. Not only is this parking lot location no longer permitted by TDD, but it's also no longer working properly. The existing power is currently feeding 220 volt to 110 volt outlets. That means anything plugged in it could possibly burn out. Per the attached agreement, DTE will be removing the park power from the existing pole. A new transfer will be installed at the pole by the skate park. Once the power is installed, Sideline Electric will install a 200 amp panel, a 400 amp panel, and 50 amp plugs and 110 amp plugs. The power will be owned by the city of Algonac. Power will be available to all community groups, and there will be enough power so that food trucks will not always have to run off generators. $20,000 was budgeted in fiscal year 2023-2024 for this project. Can I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to approve agreement with DTE Energy. This address is Mount Clemens Service Center, 43230 Elizabeth Road, Clinton Township, in the amount of $9,208.60 for upgrading transformer at Smith Recreational Park, and direct the city manager to sign the agreement on behalf of the city.
Support.
Comments, questions, concerns?
Mayor Gillis?
Yes.
If I may address our city manager?
Yes.
One question, do we have a timeline on this?
Mrs. Gerstenberg?
Thank you, Mayor Gillis. Well, it's DTE.
That's why I'm asking.
So, no, we do not have a timeline on it. We are obviously asking them as soon as possible, as we're gonna, after the holidays, we have some things that are going on in the park, but,
I'm thinking before summer, I'm hoping.
that's what we're hoping, yes. Yes, I
All right,
mean,
thank
this
you.
has been how many years we've been trying to work with DTE, 2 years on this, so,
And we just hope that a guy doesn't retire before it gets done.
yes, yes.
That's what happened to us in the mid-process, the guy that was working on it retired.
I know somebody, I can make a phone call.
There you go.
Anyone else? Hearing none, can I have a roll call, please?
Mayor Pro Tem Martin.
Yes.
Councilman Blair.
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis.
Yes.
Mayor Gillis.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Next up, we're being asked to approve a special event permit from the Cape Faith Coalition for the Live Nativity for Christmas, December 2nd, 2023. The Algonac Faith Coalition has submitted a special events permit for the Live Nativity during the Christmas in the Knack event in Riverfront Park, December 2nd, 2023. This event is in conjunction with the City of Algonac annual Christmas tree lighting, parked parade, and Algonac Live Christmas card lane display. The tree lighting starts at 6:30 p.m. Family photos will be taken with Santa. There will be live nativity and petting zoo, hot chocolate, candy canes, hot dogs, and snacks, all free. Letters for Santa will also be collected. The permit application has been received and approved by the administration. The safety and security plan is being reviewed by the St. Clair County Sheriff. Can I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to approve the special events permit for the live nativity at the Riverfront Park, December 2nd, 2023, pending approval of the safety and security plan from the St. Clair County Sheriff.
Support.
Comments, questions, or concerns?
Yeah, I have one comment. Last year, I told the city manager, that's the closest I ever got to a camel in any location. But I enjoyed it, and I expect it to be as enjoyable this year as it was last year.
Morgan City's getting.
I'm very excited about it. It's such a great time for the town. All right, can I have a roll call, please?
Councilman Blair.
Yes.
Councilwoman Davies.
Yes.
Mayor Gillis.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Martin.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Next up, we're being asked to approve grant agreements for My Wish Grant Program for City Hall safety improvements. At the meeting of October 17th, 2023, City Council approved submission of a grant application to the My Wish Grant Program for City Hall safety improvements. The MyOSHA Workplace Grant Improvement to Safety and Health My Wish Grant Program awards qualifying employees dollar-for-dollar match up to $5,000 to purchase safety and health-related equipment and equipment-related training. The goal of the program is to get a safer and healthier work environment and reduce the risk of injury and illness to workers in Michigan. On November 8th, the city was notified that we are recipients of the grant for fiscal year 2024 in the amount of $2,805.09. The grant will be used to add security cameras and 911 panic buttons within City Hall. The estimated cost is $5,610.19. Can I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to approve grant agreement for the MyOSHA Workplace Improvement to Safety and Health, better known as My Wish, grant program in the amount of $2,805.09, and direct the city manager to sign the agreement on behalf of the city.
Support.
Comments, questions, or concerns?
Mayor Gillis,
Yes.
why did this take so long? I mean, we should have had panic buttons and security cameras in here a long time coming, so kudos to you, Chief Dunn, and our administration for definitely making that happen. You guys need to be more secure, definitely, with the times that we live in now, so I think this is money well spent.
I would agree. Anyone else? Can I have a roll call, please?
Councilwoman Davies. Councilwoman
Yes,
Davies.
I'm sorry. Yes.
Mayor Gillis.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Martin.
Yes.
Councilman Blair.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Next up, we're being asked to approve accounts payable.
No, you do it. You do it.
Clerk Borges, is there something?
I can't find it. I can't either, hold on, I'm getting it.
There. Make a motion to approve accounts payable and payroll in the amount of $278,734.45.
Support.
Comments, questions, or concerns? We had a removed agenda off our items for our iPads. We had to
Yeah.
scroll to try to get to it faster, so that was delaying the action.
Usually there's people here who actually do this
Yes.
particular
I
one.
So, yeah, that's
Yes,
Councilman
and-
Carter, that's his job, so
Yes.
can I have a roll call, please?
Councilman Blair.
Yes.
Councilwoman Davies.
Yes.
Mayor Gillis.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Martin.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Items from next agenda, Mrs. Gerstenberg.
Thank you, Mayor Gillis. We will have the nuisance abatement for 550 Edward, which was postponed from October 17th. We will have a marijuana petition, the adoption of the vacant building ordinance, the engineering services contract, the temporary appointment to the South Water Municipal Utility Authority, and the Columbia Park Adoptive Park presentation.
Wow, sounds like we're busy. Council comments, Councilman Blair.
Oh, good evening all. Thank you very much for coming, everybody that came up, and we appreciate it. We will have our city manager look into the skate park issue. I'm sure she's probably already on top of that. Hopefully she can get some answers on what's going on. She's pretty astute at that, so we'll find out. Maybe send DPW out there. I don't know whose responsibility it is at that point, but I'm sure she'll make sure that the health and safety of anybody using it is protected for sure. I'd like to give a congratulations and thank you to the Hawkins family. Thank you so much for everything you've done for the city and current. It's crappy weather out there, if anybody's noticed. Rain, snow, it's coming. So look out for our neighbors and everybody just try and be safe. Have a great holiday season's coming up. Everybody have a safe and happy Thanksgiving as well and enjoy. Thank you. That's all I got.
Councilwoman Davy?
Wonderful about the street, thank you so much, you and your sisters. I do wanna say, it's the holiday season, and that's all great, everybody's putting up all their decorations. This is also the time of year where there are people who are incredible amount of pain. This time of year is incredibly difficult for them to get through. So, if you have a friend, if you have a relative who looks like they're struggling, just let them know that you're there. If they just need someone to sit and listen, it's important. And that's all I got.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Martin?
Thanks also to the Hawkes family, one sister that wasn't here, but, thank you for being a part of our beautification in Algonac. Somebody who has passed away that's touched many of us is James Weslowski, longtime educator, announcer. He was my track coach. He was my government teacher. Maybe made me what I am here. But very effective in the classroom. He'll be missed. There is a memorial, but it escapes me what day it is.
Friday.
Friday.
I think Friday.
I think tomorrow, yeah.
Friday.
And I wish everybody has a happy Thanksgiving, and we're moving into the holiday season, and hopefully we can enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to also thank the Hawkes family. After all these years, it feels good to have the Hawkes picking up our garbage again.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. We're getting back to our roots. Maybe, I got an idea. Maybe we get Mr. Hicks to buy the old Rite Aid, see if he wants to come out of retirement.
Yeah,
We
there
can
you
fix this town one small business at a time. I was a part of a great thing on Veterans Day. I know Miss Rob was there. At the VFW, it was a free dinner for the veterans. It was paid for by some sponsors. The veterans all got the free dinners, and their guests paid $20, and all the money went straight to the post. So all the food was bought and paid for by about 5 different sponsors. So it was a great event.
It was very
Very great. I'm thankful for all of you council people that sit up here, and I'm thankful for all of our residents as we're sitting here on Thanksgiving and give time out of their Tuesday night to let us know what's going on in their neighborhoods, make some of our decisions easier. And with that, Councilman Blair,
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Support?
All right, we're out of here.
all in favor?
Aye.
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 Meeting's adjourned.
Don't mind us.